God is very sneaky. Respectively, I like to call him Jehovah Sneaky. He's tricky. He will lead us down paths we don't want to go, to teach us things that we don't want to learn, so that we become the people we really want to be. And that's more like him. He's tricky. I heard somebody say one time that he will allow things to happen to us so that things happen in us, so that he can do anything through us. And I've often prayed that prayer: God, do in me what you want to do, so that you can do what you want to do through me. And the more I walk with God, the more I realize he's speaking all the time. He's doing things, teaching me all the time. I often see him in the big things, of course, but also in the small things. Like he's with me, teaching me about my attitude when I'm replacing a toilet, like I did yesterday. I can get very growly when my arms don't fit between the wall and the toilet to change this, to undo the nut. Or I can have bad attitude when some little noise is happening in my car and I can't find it. And I'm one of those guys that, you open the hood and you stare inside, hoping that your engine is going to tell you exactly what's going on. But God has actually shown me the problems before. And he's even used the voice of my wife to tell me. Because sometimes she'll get some picture of what the issue is. And she'll say, did you think it was this thing, whatever little thing? And I'm like, no, it's not that. No, it is that. That's how God works sometimes. He does these things like this. And one time I was going through a period of yuck. That's a Greek word for crap. And crap sometimes stands for Christian responses and practices. Also Christian rap, but that's another story. Anyway, I was going through a rough time, rough waters, and I get this dream. So the dream is that I'm in my house. It's at night, and I'm walking through the house, down the stairs, looking around, looking because I think there's an intruder. I've heard a noise or something. So you know how that can be tense. That can be a little bit, frightening in some ways. All of a sudden, from behind, I get this push on my shoulders. I get pushed, and I turn around quickly to see nobody's there. That's also a little scary. I take a few steps further, a push again from behind. I turn around, nobody's there. Now remember, it's just a dream, but you can imagine the dream was kind of getting me worked up. So I turn around and I walk back toward my front door. My front door is wide open to the night, and this wind is blowing. And I'm thinking in my dreams, wind blowing in dreams is never good. Well, no, actually that's not true, but wind blowing in scary movies is never good. And all of a sudden I see it. I see this demonic imp, and he's walking across my lawn, and on his back is my deep freeze. He's packing my deep freeze on his back. And so I stand out on my stoop and I'm yelling, hey, put that back in the name of Jesus. Hey, put that back in the name of Jesus. And then meanwhile, in real life, in bed, I'm going, boo. I'm trying to wake up or something. My wife is now woken, Marcy, and she's praying for me and trying to wake me up. And then finally I wake up, and I almost laughed a bit, but I was a little overwhelmed. It was kind of a creepy dream, but at the same time, it was funny. And in the morning I was pondering it and thinking about, why my freezer? And that's a good thing to do when you have dreams. Like, why this, not that? Like, why a car, not a motorbike? Why an RV and not a bus? Why red, not green? So details are important. I was, why my freezer? And as I thought about it, I thought, well, my freezer has my provisions in it. And so back in those days, it was also, I had valuable stuff in there. Like sometimes I've put insurance papers, different things in there. I don't do that anymore, so don't get any ideas. But my valuables, my provisions were in there at that time. And I realized, that little imp was trying to steal my provision, my sustenance, as it were. And then God dropped a line, a sentence in my spirit that was revelatory to me. And the sound of revelation is this. It's like, duh, the sound of revelation. I knew it up here, but I didn't get it down here. Here. It was this. God said, Rick, Satan hates you. Satan hates you, and he hates everything you're doing in the kingdom. He hates you with a deep hatred and wants to take you out. That was it. Like, duh, yeah. But the more I thought about it, I thought, wow, I had forgotten during this time where I was like, why is all this stuff happening to me? I had forgotten that this is a war and we have an enemy and he hates me. And when I realized that afresh, I rallied the troops, as it were, called people to pray, and breakthrough happened. God does speak, now one way, now another, though men may not perceive it. Are you listening?